To the ladies and gentlemen, I can't make you move, but if you would you please come forward? We have many seats right here, and there's some seats along this way as well. Next question, are there any plans to expand options for on-campus dining, seeing as only evening dining other than the cafeteria is Chick-fil-A? And are they closed on Sundays? Mr. Philly?
There's always options for looking at the potential of growing retail on campus. What we have to make sure of is that as we look at growing that the student population is growing too, because you can only carve the pie up so much without it impacting cost. So that is constantly under evaluation. It can be driven by what students want. There is a plan in place and a discussion to look at what we potentially do for next year. But once again, if the pie doesn't grow, you can't keep carving it up, or you dilute all the income to these retail operations that are already in existence, and you force them into limiting their hours of operation. As far as Chick-fil-A, that is a Chick-fil-A rule. They're closed on Sunday. Yeah, you can't change from that. So.
I didn't leave totally.
We're going to get some heathen restaurants on this place.
Sounds about right.
You can get some heathen restaurants in this place.
Dr. Rutland, what is your heart behind the new changes in chapel?
What is my heart? It's good, solid. For my age, in great shape, actually. I'm not entirely sure what new changes you might mean. I don't know all of those are. It might mean, I don't know exactly what changes you might mean. I don't want to speak to things that you're not asking. So, I'm not sure what changes. So, somebody might have to ask me a more specific question. The decorum? Well, the decorum, I think you need to behave yourselves in chapel. I don't know. Did I change the decorum in chapel? Oh, the decor. Oh, okay, sorry. I changed the decorum. It was a good change. The decor. Well, what we wanted was several things in the decor, the physical decor of the building. One was we wanted a more multi-purpose building. There's a way that you can worship in any way you want to in any building, but there's another way in which it limits the usefulness of the building for other kinds of meetings if it's so uniquely decorated in some way. The second thing was I had to make a decision on one thing. I felt we either had to get off of television or do television or do chapel in a way that was cognizant of the reality that we were on television. I didn't have a strong bias in that. I'm not a television animal. I didn't come here because chapel's on TV. I didn't know it. I frankly didn't know it until I got here. They said, "Oh, you're on TV next week." That's why. But I felt that it needed to be, if we're going to say to the nation and via internet to the world, this is ORU. They have very few ways to look into a chemistry lab. They have very few ways to check out an English lecture. We don't stream our theater. When they tune in to say, this is what ORU looks like, then I think it needs to be done. It is my fundamental conviction. Sloppiness and holiness are not the same. Mm-hmm. And therefore I said, we're going to start on time, we're going to end on time, we're going to all sing, you know, like in the same key and everything. We're going to get this right. We're going to have it. We're going to get it right. Or we can make the decision to come off of television, and that wasn't a decision that the university was prepared to make. So I said, let's step it up. I want it to be more professional. I want it to be more precise. I want the decorum to be more cosmopolitan, so that we put a clearer and better face on chapel. The major change I may have made may have to do with my preaching. I need you to be sensitive to what I felt. It may be that you need to hear or want to hear other people more often. But you have to remember, we were in the face of a year of tremendous transition. And I felt the responsibility. Not every university president of a Christian university feels this way. But I think of myself in part as the pastor of this university. And I felt that there needed to be a consistent voice. Maybe mine wasn't the best. I've always said I'm not the best preacher on this campus. I'm not the best preacher in this room. But I felt there needed to be continuity, consistency. There needed to be, and I wanted an opportunity as the new kid on the block. I wanted a way to speak into the life of the university. I wanted to share what I felt God was saying to me for this place. This year, I'm gradually feeding in more guest speakers. We'll have precisely twice as many this semester as we had the fall last year. And we'll gradually feed in more. But I wanted the opportunity to speak into the heart of this community. The second thing was, with regard to guest speakers, I didn't want to use your chapel experience to raise money or pay off political debts. I felt when you came to chapel, you deserved to hear a message that was to you, for you, and about you. That chapel wasn't a way for me to invite Dexter in and make him a friend of the university. There's other ways for me to make Dexter a friend. But chapel should be about the people who are sitting there. And therefore I wanted to raise the level. If there is a presidential priority to the platform, then when the president steps aside, that has a statement of some significance. That this is an important moment. Chapel's important. And I felt that you should feel that importance. I wanted to showcase two other changes that I made. One was to showcase more university talent. I wanted people who were watching. You are just majestically talented, and I wanted more people to see. It's great to see you worshiping, but what about the guys in Urban Cent? Nobody gets to see them unless I put them on the platform. What about Jason Swanson and his guitar? That puts him on television. That's an opportunity to showcase him. And so I wanted to do that. The third change I made had to do with missions offerings. I know that was an unusual change, and I got some responses from students saying, that feels like church and all the rest of it. There were multiple things I was after there. One was that we could actually do some good stuff in missions. Look at the churches we've built. Look at the orphans who have had heart surgery. I mean, just the good things we did. Was it goal enough? The second was, I will give you an insight into leadership. This university had stared at its own navel so long that it was nearly going blind. This is the most self-absorbed university I'd ever encountered. And I thought we need to get our eyes off of ourselves and back on a needy and hurting world. And one way we could do that was every single chapel give money to somebody else somewhere that doesn't benefit us at all. The third thing had to do with your long-term churchmanship. I want to graduate people here that have a lifetime commitment to giving to missions. I wanted you to say, I've been giving to missions for 4 years, and when you go in, I want pastors all over America praying, oh God, send me laymen from ORU, send me laymen from ORU. Because you have a commitment to give to foreign missions. So we made the commitment, not one dime would ever be spent on this campus, no matter how much was raised. No matter how much was raised. Nobody ever believed we'd raise $100,000 a year. I did not believe it. I was talking a very good game. When I said $100,000 was our goal, I was actually joking. God has no sense of humor. And we are, it's caught. It's caught on. I also felt there were ways of churchmanship. It gave students opportunity to usher. When they go to their churches, and the pastor says, I need somebody to organize the ushers. Anybody know anything about it? Say, oh yeah, I went to ORU. Does anybody understand missions program? Oh sure, I'm an ORU graduate. Does anybody understand taking up a missions offering? Oh yeah, I'm an ORU graduate. Furthermore, one last thing, the missions offering affirms our 95% of the projects that we take on are sent to us by ORU alums. And so it says to them, when they're out in Zimbabwe somewhere trying to build a mud church, ORU hasn't forgotten you. And so all of that fed into that. Sometimes you can't take the time to explain everything like that to everybody. So, furthermore, listen. When you come as let me give you a leadership lesson. Whether you're the new CEO of a hardware company or the pastor of a church, when you come in, it is your responsibility to set the tone, make the changes. When you come in as the new pastor, you're the one who says, this is the way the music's going to be, this is the time we start, this is where everybody stands. You have to do that. And it's the responsibility of those that are there to say, I hear that, I'm with you, and I'll give it everything I've got. Or to cash their chips in and leave the table. But nobody gets to live in rebellion. That's critical. I know you all are happy to be here for this leadership lecture tonight. Thank you for being here.